They call me Montana, even though the guys trying to call my name Montana, you know? Makes you quite offended by that, you know what I mean? I mean, let's say my name right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah? But, you know, in actual fact, boy, even saying my name. Hence the reason why I'm here. I don't do TikTok. I mean, holy moly, yeah? But, you know, I'm on here because guys are saying my name on TikTok. See, they trying to monopolize and, gain of, my life experience. Mine and other guys who were there. But not only that, you know, not telling the story straight, you know, like, not telling them how it was, you know, don't even really have a fair idea, yeah? You know, like, you know, let me backtrack on his video statement, yeah? That's what it pretty much is. He was saying that, like, Scott took him down pod 9 and, you know, Scott says my name and that, like, I'll teach him the ropes and all that. I mean, like, I used to teach the oil bays and that, the ropes and that, to keep people safe, yeah? But, like, I wasn't that kind of easy guy, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't know you, man, holy moly, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I'm not saying nothing, yeah? Because I don't know you. I'm going to pat you on the back and say, yeah, what up? But you're not one of the homies, you know? You ain't part of the circle. You're not one of the oil bays, yeah? And, came to pod 9, says, you know, went to a room, his room, and we all congregated in there, and we were like saying how we were going to go to war the next day with the Lebos, and so forth and so on. I mean, like, man, we don't even know the guy, you know? I mean, if we were saying that, and like, he was just like a freshman, I mean, we're stupid, because we don't know the guy. I mean, he could be working for the policeman or some other guy. Next minute, he's telling on us, you know? And next minute, we're getting taken away down to Segro because the guy's going on, sunk our boat, you know? And threw us under the bus. Whatever, yeah? And this story, you know, I find it a bit hard to believe, you know what I mean? You know, but it could be possible, yeah? But yeah, that could happen. And like the next day, came out of the cell, you know, they knew something was going to go down. They could feel it, you know what I mean? I mean, like, we've been thinking about this all night. I mean, like, we knew. As soon as we came out of that cell, we was going to start, you know, getting our shanks on, yeah? And I mean, like, you don't be carrying one of these around and you don't use it, you know what I mean? I mean, like, it was the everyday thing. You know, like, anybody that was around back then will tell you on a daily basis. I mean, like, man, we were doing hits, like, you know, we go to one cell, hit one guy, and like, next minute they ringing an alarm, the screws are coming in and taking them out on a stretcher, you know. Meanwhile, while that's happening, another guy getting hit in another cell. You get what I'm saying? This is nowhere to lie. And then the same thing happens. And then while that's happening, nowhere to lie, another guy's getting hit, you know? I mean, we're just hitting guys all day, every day. You know, it's MRRC, you know? Guys were coming and going daily, you know what I mean? And we're talking like, you know, easy 10, 20 guys a day coming in and out, yeah? And, anyways, the next day, when we came out, you know, we weren't saying nothing. It was just like one look, another bang. And then we hit them, yeah? And like, I remember, like, cause I was the one that kicked it off. I was the first one that done the first hit. You know, I don't remember his name, but man, he was huge. Nowhere to lie. You know, and like in the movie Troy, you know, I'm not even exaggerating or whatever. You know, I fly and just, you know, fly through the air. You know, hand up here. And boom, get him in the throat. Actually, I got him right there, yeah? And then when I ran, because once I pumped him, yeah, I ran onto the table tennis table. Cause see, they were saying that we wanted to hit some guy or whatever. Nah, wrong name. The guy we wanted was Jimmy Saffron, yeah. He's one of the old school, yeah. And the beef was old school. He was the guy we wanted, you know. But the funny thing is, you know, and I'll tell you how it is now. Last time I seen him, he loved me. You know, he was actually a good guy, old Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I just got caught up in, some old school beef between the old school boys. You know what I mean? Me being one of the young bros. You know what I mean? And because I had the chance to get him, man, I'm getting him, You know what I mean? And he was the guy that we wanted. And anyway, everybody getting stabbed up. But, I'm not even going to lie to you. They almost had me. You know what I mean? And the ones that grabbed me were the boys from Punch Bowl. And that was one of my qualms about that day, it was going to happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? But we just knew once we hit Jimmy Saffron, the rest of them are all going to come in and back him up, because it was a race thing, yeah? And back to my crime was, I had a lot of love for the Punch Bowl boys, McCannan's boys, they were solid, yeah? And they had a lot of love, you know what I mean? They were good guys. Even though they were bad guys, they were good guys, yeah? And, they almost had me. But, I ended up chucking the psycho nut in, you know what I mean? And then Nick went busting on out and getting everybody. They were running for the dog box where the screws should sit and monitor everybody's behavior and shit. All the Lebos were all in there. There's no disrespect to the Lebos, none. I got no beef with no race, no nothing, no anybody anymore, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, yeah? But I'm setting the record straight, yeah? And Underworld Bill, you remember this much. Because you all ran, actually, I tried to hit you once I got out of that squabble when they almost had me. And I seen you. And that's when I swung that rice cooker. Man, I almost got your head out, yeah? Because you went running down the wing. And then I ended up chasing you, Bill, from there all the way over to the dog box, remember? And then and that's when you were all bunched up, squashed up with the screws and that. And I'm trying to get all of you, yeah? And then they opened up the other door. It was the staff office. And everybody ran on through there out into the hallway and so forth and so on and got away, yeah? And, so I turned around and looked, because I realized, damn it, there might be some others. But when I turned around, everybody had locked themselves in their rooms, you know what I mean? They didn't want nothing to do with it. We were going psycho, yeah? Because nowhere to lie, we was maniacs, yeah? And Goon Squad come. I did remember there was two guys in the cage. And it could have been tricks, yeah? And I do remember one of them was an old Lebo guy, yeah? Because they took them two out. The squad came in and, we're coming in. Well, no. You fellas wait there. Wait till we finish our cigarettes. And then you can come in. There was only three of us. There was only me, a guy named Eddie Cervantes, Eddie C, and Fiji and Eddie, yeah? There ain't three of us, yeah? And we're outnumbered. But we didn't give a damn, yeah? But that's what really happened, yeah? Then after that, the screws in there tried to send us up to Lithgow. And that was another danger ground. Man, people getting murdered up there too, you know what I mean? And I knew this. So what do? I go and sharpen up my handshake, yeah? Plastic one, hide it in a discreet location. And when we get to Lithgow, because I already know what's happening. As soon as I walk out there into the mainstream, they going to get me. No, they ain't going to get me. So what do? First everybody that I see was him, I hit him, yeah? I get him. And anybody else that wanted something, yeah? And that's how I got out of that one. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real with you. But, it was a bad place to be. Back in those days, yeah? It was no joke.